You're listening to WDIY's Lehigh Valley Insider with our host, Neil Heaver.
Today we'll be talking with Katie Berger, Sales and Marketing Representative, and George Wacker, Communications Manager of Discover Lehigh Valley. There was a time when only a few breweries dominated beer sales in the U.S. Now we're in a golden age of brewing, and the Lehigh Valley has a lot to offer.
Yeah, we're really lucky here in the Lehigh Valley that we have so many great microbreweries, craft breweries, bars locally that specialize in imports, all different craft beers.
Why don't we talk about some of the Lehigh Valley breweries? We'll start with the Brewworks.
Sure. The Brewworks has two locations in Lehigh Valley, one in Allentown on Hamilton Street and one in Bethlehem right on Main Street. Both locations offer a full-service restaurant, lunch, dinner. They both offer craft beers right on site. So you'll find a number of beers they offer year-round, as well as a number of seasonal brews.
I just read recently about the Colony Meadery. Tell me more about that.
Sure. So the Colony Meadery is located in Allentown, right off the 8th Street Bridge at the Bridgeworks Enterprises. They are a startup meadery. So mead essentially is a sort of wine almost that's distilled from honey. They brew it all just like you would brew a beer. One of the techniques they use is the only place locally in I believe it's like a 300-mile radius that they use to make the mead. They have tours you can take right there at the brewery. You can purchase bottles of their mead right there on site. You can also find their products out at local bars throughout the valley as well.
In Easton, there's Weyerbacher Brewing. Tell me more about them.
So Weyerbacher is probably one of the best-known craft breweries in the country, let alone in the area. They have tons of different brews, again, that are done throughout the year as well as seasonally as well. So some of their most popular ones are their pumpkin beer that they brew in the summertime to have ready in the fall. One of their most popular brews is the White Sun Wit that they brew in the springtime to have ready for the summer.
And that's something that had vanished from the American brewing scene when these large brewers took over. Seasonal beers disappeared. There's other brewing activity going on in Lehigh Valley. Let's mention a few of those real quickly.
Sure. Over in Emmaus right now, we have Funk Brewing Company, which is another new brewery that's just started up recently. They'll have a tasting room available that's under construction currently. We also have Saucony Creek Brewing Company that's located out in Kutztown, and Hijinks Brewing Company, which will be soon ready to go in Allentown. And over in Easton, there's Two Rivers Brewing Company. Right now, it's a full-service restaurant and bar, but shortly they will have their own beers brewed on site as well.
George, this is a lot of information to absorb, and for people who are not in the Lehigh Valley or coming into the Lehigh Valley for the first time, either as new residents or visitors, there's got to be a place you can go to find out more about all of these places.
Sure. It's a blessing that we have so many breweries and different kind of microbrews that you can try, but it can be confusing when you want to figure out where these places are or what you want to try. So we put together Lehigh Valley Ale Trail, and that can be found at lehighvalleyaletrail.com. And basically, we put everything together in an easy-to-go-through format where you can find your favorite places to go throughout the Lehigh Valley and maybe try out some new ones.
So you can find information not only about the breweries, but on locations that offer the Lehigh Valley brews as well.
Yes, we have listings of breweries, bars, and pubs, and we also have listings of shops and events, and we even have lodging on there too, if you're going to make maybe a weekend of it.
Some people like to do brew tours.
Sure.
And they come through the region, and that's a one-stop place for them to find out more.
It is also on Facebook and Twitter. You can find it through a simple search. And we do try to keep people really up to date with a lot of the events that are going on, especially in the fall time of the year. We have a newsletter that goes out quarterly, and we try to, again, put in a lot of the events and get people excited about it or have all the information there for them.
Thanks, George and Katie. Funding for this program is made possible by Discover Lehigh Valley. For more information, discoverlehighvalley.com. For WDIY, I'm Neil Heaver.